Hey everybody, Clint with Alternative Athletics here, and we are running a holiday fitness wellness challenge, and it got me thinking about all the things that we could be working on. So for our challenge, what we're doing is pick one thing, and from the middle of November all the way through January, how many times can you work on that thing? And whoever is the most consistent over those 12 weeks wins the competition. And it can be a lot of different things, and today, what it got me thinking about was what is holding you back. So there's 5 primary things that I associate with fitness or wellness. And the hierarchy of them, actually for most of my clientele, most of the members of the gym here, puts working out actually at the bottom. Now, for a lot of people that do not regularly go to the gym and are possibly in a bad state of health, working out can be the cheapest and easiest and most convenient way to get changes to happen. You start working out, your physique looks better, you start working out, you become stronger, you start working out, your blood markers look better. Everything starting out with working out gets that ball rolling. But once you have that ball rolling, I want to talk about everything. We'll talk about working out last. That is really more important than actually working out. But working out is the greatest starting place for most people. All right, so hierarchy or the factors in order of most effectiveness, nutrition. So we've said it a lot of times, nutrition is medicine. People don't think about it. I am going to spell things wrong today. All right, nutrition is medicine. But I want to get on to the what is holding you back on nutrition and making your life better through the things you put in your body. For a lot of people, we could start with hydration. So every cell in your body has water in it. As you know, the majority of the human body is made up of water. We use it for our neurological system, we use it for our digestive system, we use it for our circulatory system, and if you're running low, your body is going to have to choose where it puts what it has if it has limited resources. I thought I was doing good. I tended to drink around 1 Nalgene a day, which was 32 ounces, and then when I tore into it and I started doing my weight, body fat ratio percentage, athletic level, activity level, yada, 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 and actually looked at the metrics, I was doing about 1/3 of what I should. Now, was I surviving on that? Yes. Once I started drinking more, did I have to take more bathroom breaks? Absolutely. But did my performance go up? It did. And not only did my performance go up, but my sleep got better, and a lot of things happen with mental acuity that I really appreciate. So, start with hydration. Look on the internet. Type in your metrics. See what you should be doing, and then ballpark it. If you're having a more active day, if you're, it's a hotter day and you're just sweating without even moving, you're going to need more, and you want to take those factors into account. All right, so we'll throw up hydration. Second thing, for most people, is ease. All right, so if you're getting ready for a bodybuilding competition and you're in a cutting phase so that you're weighing and measuring and you're limiting your food options, anybody that's been there, it's hard work. If you're weighing in and measuring for macros so that every meal you're trying to figure out what you're doing, that can be hard work as well. Now, some of us are analytical people, and dialing in our nutrition to the point that we're weighing our protein versus our carbs versus our fats, and we're trying to make every meal specific. That gives us a sense of accomplishment, gives that dopamine hit of solving a puzzle, and it works out really well. But for those of us where, unfortunately, kids, profession, life in general is taking over and nutrition kind of starts to take a back seat, the easiest way I have found is to work within your means to do what you can and try to simplify your choices. All right? For me, paleo is a great option. Paleo, which you can look up, you can do the research on it, but basically, if you do a clean eating style, once we put the word clean on there, it makes it a little broader in our mind, and it shouldn't be. But basically, if it's got a label, if there's something on that food label that you don't know what it is, it's not food. If you buy a bag of apples, it says apples. If you buy a steak, it says steak. If you go to the frozen food aisle and you buy frozen broccoli, it says broccoli, right? There's not a lot of ingredients on the list, and that's how you can tell if it's food. Let's go 1,000 years ago. Could somebody get access to this item? Now, would they have access to cauliflower? No. All right. Are there modern adaptations to fruits and vegetables that we've done? Yeah, absolutely. But if the less processed it is, the more it would be available to somebody who was a caveman, the more it's a food, the higher fiber content, and the less you have to think about it. Does that work for everybody? No. Some people are averse to vegetables. Some people don't want to take the time to shop for their food, and so they go out to eat a lot because they don't have the time to go shopping, or they don't make the time to go shopping. So, another way for ease is a glycemic index. So if you can slow down your carbs and give your body more time to process what you have going on, whether that's raising the fiber, raising the protein, but basically look for a glycemic index of 50 or less. That's an easy way to do that. And we all have a phone in our pocket. We can pick it up and go, what is the glycemic index of grapes? What is the glycemic index of a McDonald's cheeseburger, right? You're gonna see the difference really fast. So if you can do that, that's a good way to go. While we're talking about glycemic index, another thing that I wanna focus on is how this works. So basically, the quicker your body is able to absorb the carbs, the more likely it is to store it as fat, and the higher insulin swings you're gonna have, which is going to make life more difficult generally. One great example of this is beer and wine. All right, and I'm going to come back to alcohol on several of these parts. And I'm not telling people not to drink. I'm telling people to think about what they're doing. All right, so basically, high calories in a liquid form, and then you aerate it, it's going into your bloodstream really fast. So just consider that when you're thinking about nutrition. All right, another thing that people have to deal with is what I will call addiction / willpower, or even just making it a priority. It's going to be a P. Still a P. Okay, so the biggest one is sugar. Sugar is supposedly one of the most addictive substances on the planet, right? So when we were cavemen, we were designed that if you found a berry patch, it's a limited resource available for a limited period of time, and you're gonna be fighting off cave bears and everybody else that wants to deal with it. So gorge on the sweetness. Now, we can go to any 7-Eleven, we can go to the grocery store checkout line, and sweetness is around us every second of every day. Because of that, we still have the addiction from being a primal creature, but the access is now amazing, all right? So the addiction is real, and that's something to try and figure out for yourself how to fight. All right, a couple of things I like. Prioritization, being logical and saying, hey, does this give me what I want? And if it doesn't, then why am I doing it, right? So if you can keep it out of the house, great, but you still gotta go to the store, you still gotta go to work. Holiday cookies are coming up, and if you're able to say, hey, while that cookie is about to be grabbed off that plate, my goal is this, does this move me towards my goal? No, don't grab the cookie, all right? On the reverse side, that doesn't work for everybody. A lot of people don't like to abstain or limit themselves, and it feels like you're punishing yourselves, and you can get into a guilt complex, and it's really bad for the mental state of mind. So what also happens that I really enjoy is a reward flip, all right? So for a reward flip, what you're looking at, and I'm gonna highly recommend dark chocolate. Now, not all the good things that they say about dark chocolate are necessarily true. Not everything that is labeled as dark chocolate is dark chocolate. You wanna look at how it's made, what's in the ingredients on it, how much is sugar, how much is chocolate, which one's labeled first. But a reward flip is saying, I want this thing, possibly I need this thing if addiction is a strong component. So you put that thing at the end of your day and you say, if I hit this goal or these 3 goals or this happens, then at the end of the day, I can have this small piece of chocolate. And it really allows it to be a reward. It's a positive component, as opposed to taking yourself and punishing yourself. You're saying, hey, no, at the end of the day, I did a great job. This is gonna be less than 1% of my nutrition for the day. I'm okay to have this one thing for all the other good things I did that day. All right, getting off addiction. Let's look at budget. Ooh, I'm running out of room. Here we go. All right. One thing, having been in the Navy, gone around the world, and for anybody that travels, you've seen this too, it always blows my mind that in the US is the only place I've ever been where the poorest people are the most obese. And the way that our economy and our grocery system, government subsidies, everything you look at, we make the worst food choices the most highly available. And that's just part of where we're living and the environment we're in. So a couple of things that we can do to reduce the price of things, but still make good choices. So the first is actually go to the store. And going to the store is gonna force you to cook. And forcing you to cook is gonna force you to think about the choices you're making, all right? So, are some of the cheapest of things available at the store not necessarily the best for us? The breads, the pastas, yes. The processed foods that you can just throw in the microwave, yes. But when you grab that thing, you gotta think about it, all right? And could I be making a better choice? And then when we're struggling to make better choices, I want you to think about going to the frozen aisle and the baking aisle. Frozen food is cheaper and more available than fresh food, and if you're gonna cook it anyways, is better, and for a lot of vegetables actually we get more nutrition out of them if we cook them rather than actually eating them raw. Now raw will increase the fiber and lower the glycemic index, so depending on the battle you're fighting, one option's better than the other. The baking aisle is the secret. So you can go to the chips aisle and buy trail mix, or you can buy a bag of pistachios or a bag of almonds or a bag of whatever. First, they're gonna be coated in sugar so that you wanna buy more of them, and then secondly, they're gonna be way more expensive. You go to the baking aisle and you pick up almonds in quantity that are just almonds. There's nothing adjusted to them. They're not sugared, they're not salted, they're not sweetened. You can do the same thing with pistachios or even macadamia nuts, which are a great treat. So consider where you're shopping, what part of the store you're shopping in, and you can save yourself a lot of money just by going for the bulk quantity in the baking aisle rather than going to the snack aisle. All right? We're going to be going through all 5 of the things that I want to go through. We're going to hit sleep next, but I want you to think about nutrition. I want you to think about the reasons that you struggle. How can you flip them and make them an advantage, and treat food like medicine. All right, live well, be strong.